Hi, and welcome to the Ada K Show. I am Ada K. Brown, and am currently a criminal justice major, and I'm a deaf courtroom commentator. Grab a cup of Java, and let's dive in. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. And yes, it's a Good Friday. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week, and I still have a voice. Hallelujah. I still have a cough, but the fever's gone and all the other stuff is gone. So I do feel better today. Thank you so much for those who've been asking and praying. So welcome. Oh my gosh. Welcome, June. Welcome, Dave. I got this here. Crazy. One sunny day. And of course, my honey bun, Mr. Gerald. Hello, Miss Toxic. And as always, Miss Toxic, the gavel drops. Oh my gosh, y'all. I came in this morning and we had a ton of documents that have dropped for the as the gavel drop. Sorry, my ears went out. So if you like to read court documents, go to As the Gavel Drops in Discord. Of course, log in and then validate your account. And you too can have all the legal documents access that we have, and you can enjoy all the good stuff. So, again, thank you to As the Gavel Drops. You are so amazing. We love and appreciate you, and our partnership is fabulous. So, there's this information. I'll post it in our thing. Give me a quick second. Cancel. Comments. There you go. I posted it in the links. Y'all go to As the Gavel Drops, and you'll be able to access the documents. My live is not live on the right Facebook account. Why is it not live? It doesn't show. Come on, guys. I need to go. I have to fix my Facebook. Oh, no. Somebody just lost their house today. Oh, poor Mija's. Poor family. Oh, breaking my heart. Well, for some reason it shows I'm live, but it's not showing up on Facebook yet. Hopefully I did the right account. So we have a lot happening, guys. We have a lot. We have a lot. We are coming into the end of the Sementilli trials, and I'm hoping and praying we will be in verdict really watch really soon. Real soon. And that is let me think. If someone asked me, oh, there it is. I'm trying to get the Facebook feed where it needs to be. I apologize. Tech wasn't working. Got it. Okay, so in the Sementilli trial, for those who weren't with us in the beginning, the state prosecution opening statements were day and 2/3. It was horrible. Hey, June, horrible. And, I have a suspicion that it's gonna be that horrible again when they go into closing. The defense took about a half a day or maybe about a half a day for theirs. So, but the biggest news is all the Karen Reed stuff, and so I will read that in break. I've got to organize it all, y'all. It's a lot of information. Um, I am also in a yeah, kind of a place because I have to leave the live at 3 o'clock today because I have a conference that I have to go to this weekend, and I have to drive 45 minutes or so away, and then I have to be there at 5. So it is what it is, but we will get it going. We'll get her done. But if you want to read these documents, go to As the Gavel Drops. So I'll tell you what we have, and if it's a short one while we're waiting, we'll go ahead and look at it. Some of them are longer than others. They is. They longer than others. Okay, I'm pulling it up. This one is a one page, so we can do that. So I'll screen share this, do this, get everything set up for us to do the thing that we need to do. We're going to read this. We're going to get it on stage. I wonder what does it look when I do a large? No, I don't like that. I'm trying to get it all worked out for us, guys. Try to get it set. Try to get everything up and going. And it's not working with me. Okay. I need to make me smaller. That's what it is. For this particular app, I got to make me smaller. Okay. Haley Mouse, thank you so much for doing that. Appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Motion number 617 is for protective order. The Commonwealth respectfully moves in pursuant of the Massachusetts Rules of Criminal Procedure 14A parentheses 6 parentheses for the Honorable Court. This is what I'm going to start doing for the court because she's not honorable. Establish a protective order restricting the public's dissemination of material being produced. Restrict the defense counsel only pursuant to Massachusetts or whatever cited that requires the Commonwealth to produce the names, addresses, date of birth, and known contact information of the Commonwealth's prospective witnesses other than law enforcement witnesses. Order is necessary to effectuate the well-established privacy and safety interests of the witnesses and the victim's family. Issuance of protective order is the inherent authority of issuing court. A protective order served to shield litigants and third parties from unwarranted disclosure, and as a particular matter to facilitate the discovery necessary for a trial. So that was signed by Honorable Bev. There, I got it easier. It's not so bad. So Auntie Bev is basically putting in an order to protect the witnesses. How many pages this is? Okay, let's see. I'm going to see. That's long. That's pretty long. Okay, this is short. Affidavit of Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan in support of the Commonwealth's motion to compel non-privileged communication stored in the defendant's cell phone data. My name is Hank Brennan. Everyone puts Breenan, and it's wrong. I knew I was right. I had a friend named Brennan. Brennan. Finally, I got it right, y'all. I'm surprised. I have been appointed special prosecutor. I have reviewed several public statements made by the defendant relatives to this case, including but not limited to the defendant's interview on Gretchen Voss and her appearance on the outgoing documentary. The Commonwealth intends to introduce a number of defendant statements, including the statement included in the attached motion. Pursuant to the search warrant, Commonwealth is in possession of the defendant's cell phone data. The data is subject to tainting protocol, and any redacted communications are not available to undersigned counsel for review. Undersigned counsel requests this court review any redacted communications ex parte, provide the Commonwealth all relevant non-privileged communication as requested in the attached motion. I believe the communications requested are non-privileged because of the discussions with Attorney Iannetti during the requested time frame and subject matter of the defendant's strike on John O'Keefe have been intentionally disclosed to public by privilege holder and no longer confidential. I know, but I had somebody send me a private comment telling me that I was wrong. And I'm like, thank you so much. Ignore. 1 to 6. This is 4 pages. And this one is 7 pages. And this one is 5. We'll go through this one. Commonwealth motion to compel communications between the defendant, attorney, and Nettie stored within the defendant's cell phone data. I know it wasn't you, honey boo, so just stop it. The Commonwealth seeks all text, emails, written communication between Karen Reed and Yannetti, restricting those communications that occurred between January 29, 22 and February 2nd of 22. Footnote, pursuant to the search warrant, the Commonwealth received the contents of the defendant's cell phone. Because an observed attorney-client communication, the cell data was provided to the assistant of the defense. The Attorney General's office and the court-ordered tank team protocol was implemented. The Commonwealth received the defendant's phone data with any privileged communication excised. Given the defendant's public waiver of attorney-client privilege, as it pertains to the defendant's conversations with Attorney Yannetti on January 29th, following 3 days, the Commonwealth entitled to the communications between the defendant Yannetti and waived a narrow time period. I thought I was. My bad. I hit the tab. Is that it? Here we go. Thank you, honey boo. I'm sorry. Sometimes you click it and you don't know because I can't see. I have to put this in front of my StreamYard so I can read it. Okay. They're basically saying here that because she went on TV and did these interviews and has talked about that day in depth in these interviews and has alluded to or referred to the conversations with her attorney during those said interviews, that now that means that they should have access to that data on her phone. She gave up the client confidential privilege is what they're saying. The privilege holder, here it is, Karen Reed, has waived her tiny privilege with Yannetti relative to any statement about her collision with John O'Keefe during the time of January 29, 22 and February 2nd, 22. The defendant voluntarily and intentionally disclosed the existence of, hold on, it's the interpreter. I sent you a link, Bun.
Okay. I can't get anything to go through. So if you trust me, send me the name of your bank.
I'll deal with it. Okay. We're on hot mic. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Bye.
Your bank and
Yep.
Right.
We're good. Bye, love. Okay. So they're saying that anything that she discussed in the interviews on live TV is no longer considered confidential, and thus they should have it. The defendant voluntarily, here it is. The defendant voluntarily and initially disclosed the existence of the communications about her culpability of John O'Keefe's death during the various public interviews. And The communications confirmed by the defendants to exist are no longer privileged or confidential because the defendant chose to widely and publicly disseminate them. Hi, Kelly P. I know. I'm with you on that. I don't think that she should have, but also I don't think she could not afforded not to, because this has gotten to be so expensive, that I think this is a way for them to support the fees for all the stuff they're paying. In support of, do you know what? Let me see if I can just make this a little bigger. And then do this. I can read it from here. In support of the motion, the Commonwealth acknowledges and respects that the attorney-client privilege protects privileged communication between client and his or her attorney. Okay. Waiver privileges, how this is done. Who can waive? A privilege holder or holder's legally appointed guardian, administrator, exhibitor, or heir can waive privilege. Conduct consenting waiver. Except and provided in Section 524, privilege matter disclosure erroneously or without opportunity to claim privilege. The privilege is waived if a person upon whom the article confers a privilege against disclosure. Volunteering, disclosing, or consent to disclose any significant part of the privilege of matter. I think that is going to be one right there. She's voluntarily on national TV disclosed information that was contained in the communication between her and her attorney. Introduces privileged communication as an element of a claim or defense. Person merely testifies as the event where a topic of privileged communication or there's an unintentional disclosure of privileged communication or reasonable precautions were taken to prevent the disclosure. I agree. But I think at this point, she really is desperate. And, well, I don't think she said anything that really can harm her that has not already been said. But it does open the door to this kind of stuff. I'm going to look over here and read if you don't mind. So don't be offended if I'm not looking at the screen or the camera, because it's bigger over here for me. In the case of privilege holder, the defendant has clearly intentionally waived her right to client privilege regarding significant conversations she had with Yannetti regarding the collision between her vehicle and John. Okay, go, 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 lay down. Good girl. For example, the defendant's recorded interview on Gretchen Voss on June 2023. Yeah, Hanky's playing dirty. Transcript, blah, blah, blah. The defendant concludes.
You never said, did I hit him? I hit him.
I said, could I? Did I? Could I? Did I hit him?
And then, when I talked to David, now I got to go over here. Now this is latter. David said, Karen, if you incapacitated him in any way, there's culpability there. And I thought, all right, maybe this is what maybe I said to my mother, just to go forward a second. They were asking me, what was it like? Did they come out? What was the house like? Attorney Nettie, Attorney Jackson, and Little were in attendance along with the defendant, Mr. Voss. Second, in an interview with Vanity Fair article, Karen Reed tells her story, part 1, a murder trial in Massachusetts. As Karen Reed's second murder trial looms, She's ready to talk about what she says what really happened. I'm like, what? Published October 29, 24. The defendant, who, according to the publication, notably aware anything she said could be used against her. Oh, congratulations, love. Thank you. We love and appreciate you. Could be used against her. Volunteered a rumor that alleged representations made by Massachusetts police that there's a text message between her and counsel that implied it is a probable lie. Third, and now airing 5-part docuseries, Investigative Discovery HBO Max, A Body in the Snow, the trial of Karen Reed, where the defendant professes. And then when I hired David Yannetti, I asked him those questions the night of January 29th. Like, David, what if? I don't know. What if I ran over his foot? Or what if I clipped him in the knee and he passed out? Or went to care for himself, he threw up, passed out. And David said, yeah, when you have some element of culpability. So that's how I thought about things for 3 days. And I remember this. I've seen that part. I've not seen all of it yet. I think I'm on day 4 or part 4. But there's not, see, this is where I struggle. This isn't a confession. At first, she said everybody had been drinking. And I said the same thing. Could he have gotten out of the car? He got nauseated from all the alcohol, put his hand on the car, maybe started throwing up, and she, not knowing he was leaning against the car, pulled away and he fell under the tire. And I've seen that style of accident. That, to me, if I was her, how it would be running through my brain. But to back up and break a tail light and cause the damage that was caused to him still does not match a vehicle pedestrian accident. And I don't think there's one person in the police force that I've talked to, EMS. I've talked to a lot of people in my community about this, and they have been following it. And they said the problem is the lack of bruising, broken bones on the lower extremity. Even if it's not bruising, if the car ran over his foot, you're going to have redness on the skin. There's going to be a reaction to it, even if there wasn't enough time to fully bruise. I'm still coughing, guys. I'm so sorry. At the moment, I feel better than I sound. And Mr. Gerald here, who was a police officer in Special Forces military, can attest to this. Okay. Your privilege holder is the defendant. The defendant initially waived her privilege by disclosing her conversations to a nationwide audience. Oh, let's take a breath. With her attorney. The attorney-client privilege can be waived only by the client. In addition to rendering the communication non-privileged, the communication relevant as admissions to statement of the defendant. Sorry, guys. The statement is admissible sustainably as your attorney Yannetti statements to the defendant are admissible pertaining to the defendant's state of mind also. The defendant's admission and attorney Yannetti's statements are relevant to challenge the defense latter purported claims of a third culpability. Well, when you first get a case in the very beginning, and you're not 100% sure what happened, you're gonna look at all kind of scenarios. You're gonna look at everything. You're gonna take a break. You're gonna throw everything at the wall. It's only through time and discovery do you start. Oh, only if these were not, the nose piece wasn't broken. So, I have no problem with what she's saying. If I'm on a jury with this, I would not take this into account. She's in shock. The communications have relevance to refute the defendant's potential claim that some other person committed the crimes cause the death of John O'Keefe. Once again, she believes she let him out of the car. She did. He got out. And after that, she has no responsibility of him. She doesn't know. She said that he went to the house. She waited for him. He didn't come out. She got pissed and left. She called him. He didn't answer. She texted him. He didn't answer. She felt blown off. She blew him off. This is in such an early state of the investigation. This is not an admission of guilt. It is not a legal. All right, Gerald, tell me if I'm wrong. Does this fall within the boundaries of what is considered a legal admission of guilt? Just curious. I'll let y'all see me. Hey guys. Why is it moving? Oh, that's right. It's tracking me. Hello. So that's where I believe. Up, is rolled oat. Hey, the mouse. I think it's like oatmeal, June. It's rolled oats mixed with milk and cooked a bit. That's a good one. Yep. So we'll see when Gerald can answer us. He may be doing something. The communications have relevance to refute the defense potential claims that other person committed the crimes and caused the death of John O'Keefe. Moreover, the defense has suggested that as a part of its defense, it's likely to pursue Bowden type defense. You are calling me a female version of RA? I love you. You're so awesome. Yes, I am a female version RA. Look. Yep. I got the tech. I'm a techie girl. And it's following my hand. I'm sorry, it's tracking. Oh, I'm going to have a huge TV mounted either, I think, on that wall or on this wall. If it's on this wall, it's going to have to come out, which means the door will have to be closed. So I'll probably take this top monitor, put it on this side over here, and have a big one on the wall there. It will help with my visual. Yeah. Thank you for the compliment. I take it. It is not an admission of guilt. There you go. And in the beginning of a lot of defenses, you don't know or have all the information and you don't have all the evidence. Lord knows they didn't have evidence at that time. They had what they were making up or believing, but it takes a while to get all the information in. So things change, scenarios change, even within the department, even within an investigation. You have plausible possibilities, but you eliminate them until you get to what you believe is the actual facts of the case. Communications have relevance to refute the defense potential claim that some other person committed the crimes because, I said that. Potential evidence is relevant to refute the claim of law enforcement involvement. That's signed, sealed, delivered, and done. Uh-oh. Get it back up. Sorry. Okay, this is 7 pages. This is 4. That's 6. We'll do the 4 pages. Affidavit in support of the Commonwealth's motion for records. My name is Hank Brennan. I am Special Agent. Wah, 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 wah. I am so tired of hearing that. I am Special Agent, but he has to put it there. I'm just being a witch. I'm moving to produce records in the above caption matter. I'm requesting a prompt hearing on the motions and considerations of court scheduled order upcoming trial date. The Commonwealth will hand serve a copy of this affidavit accompanying a motion to the register agent of the Commonwealth, March 20th, 25. Unsolved Productions, Inc. is a registered with the Secretary of State for doing business in Massachusetts, has registered agent Boston and registered agent in Boston, and the docuseries was filmed entirely in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts during the defendant's first trial. And why is it not showing up? There it is. Ticky. On June 6th of 2022, defendant was indicted by Norfolk. That's how they say it. For the second-degree murder, blah, blah, blah. On April 16th, 10-week jury trial commenced. Addition 3-week indictment. The jury was instructed to consider 2 leffers. We know all of this. We don't need the history. However, the defendant's second trial presently scheduled to begin April 1st. However, the defendant has moved for continuance with the Commonwealth to assist to April 28th. Commonwealth alleged that January 29th, while intoxicated, the defendant struck John O'Keefe with the rear of her car, blah, 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 blah. Approximately 6:04 a.m., the defendant accompanied Jennifer McKay. Carrie Roberts discovered the victim. Yada, 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 yada. We know this. The defendant has challenged the Commonwealth evidence in this case to include allegations of police misconduct. Hello, Miss Elena. We're waiting for the Sementilli. We're getting there. Allegations of police misconduct claim that the Commonwealth tampered with evidence and accusations. The Commonwealth has framed the defendant with Redrum. The allegations of the defendant, attorney Jackson Yannetti Little, put forth a 5-part docuseries, A Body in the Snow, The Trial of Karen Reed. Do you know what, guys? Yannetti and them did not create this series. They participated. They did not put forth this series. I don't understand why. It's like they're being accused of being the producers on this series. Hey, Amy, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Importantly, in the aired portion of Bodies Snow, The Trial of Karen Reed features an unprecedented access to the defendant and her attorneys during the defendant's first trial. Plethora of information, both from counsel and the defendant, is extremely material and relevant to charges and evidence. I am feeling better today. Thank you. The defendant's multitude of inconsistent statements and admissions are admissible evidence to the Commonwealth case in chief and rebuttal. What the Commonwealth and nationwide audience has been able to learn in the view over the 3 nights of the aired footage is prolific and newly relevant information. Pursuant to Massachusetts rule of Commonwealth seeks to introduce statements not limited to oral assertion, but also the nonverbal conduct captured by the film of the defendant. A defendant's statement is not hearsay. It's admissible against the defendants and the statement made by the adapted by this defendant. The statement includes a person's oral assertion, written assertion, or nonverbal conduct if the person intended it as an assertion. The hearsay exemption for the statement by the party opponent encompasses the extrajudicial statement made by party opponent, not just statements that are inculpatory or against the party's interest. Because he's no longer an officer. He's a victim. If he was a current surviving person. So if he was alive, if she did hit him and he lived, but they're charging for attempted red room, he would be called Officer John O'Keefe. But because he's deceased, he no longer holds that title. I would prefer for them to honor him, but that's the way the legalities are. The Commonwealth, Gerald, correct me if I'm wrong. Commonwealth motion is not finished expedition as it is reasonably likely to produce additional statements of the defendant. Limited broadcast is devoid of additional context that will be helpful for the jurors to learn relative admission by the defendant. That's not admission. That was questioning oneself after a night of drinking and unclear of what evidence had. No. The defense's further first trial spanned over 11 weeks. The production of this documentary followed recorded defendant and her counsel leading up to trial. During the entirety of the trial is reasonable to believe that there's more than the aired approximately 5.5 hours of video footage. Thus, the Commonwealth is seeking a copy of this evidence in its entirety. So they are wanting the unedited, all video footage. This is when I, as someone who is a producer of something like that, once its final cut's made, we get rid of everything because we can't save it all. Oh, I'm sorry. Once it hits the floor, it hits the floor. Back in the day, edited strips it was on film. The strips were edited, and when they were on film, they would be cut and dropped to the floor, and then it would be gone. People may take souvenirs of it, some people working there would take one strip of this or that, but it's trashed. It's no longer salvageable. Mini boons. We're talking like early years of this stuff. 7, 6, and 1. We have read this motion respectfully, Ms. Pursuant of rules of criminal procedures, the court to establish protective order restricting public dissemination of material being produced. We read this. And that means I am not going to call this judge honorable. Hi, Jennifer. I know digital is different, though. I get it. I'm saying too bad it's not back in the old days because they can say, it hit the floor. It's gone. Once we get the final cut, it's gone. It's not saved. Digital is different. But do you know what? When I went from film to digital photography, it got to a point to where I had so much digital space that what I had in each client's files got to the point it bogged down my system, and I had to go through and edit and delete some of those digital images that I knew we weren't going to use. So you can go through and do it, but they've got it all. And that's the problem. But I want to talk about this issue of them having, how do I put this? I don't understand why they are trying to take a comment that was her reflection on that night and trying to figure out what could have happened. Why are they taking such a comment like that and turning it into a um a statement of fact? I I struggle with that. But at the same time, there is always a risk of doing what they did and now they're eating it. This is what's going to happen. Definitely. Hello, Miss Jennifer. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So they want all the unedited, and it's going to be a lot for them to go. This one hair is just driving me crazy. Well, I watched the docuseries, and in it, she said, when after it happened, everybody been drinking, and I wasn't sure if he bent over, if he was gonna vomit. Did I run over his foot and not know it? I if she was potentially guilty of anything, it would be involuntary, not purposeful in her mind. Yes, they had a fight earlier, but he was supposed to get out of the car and go and check out the party to see if they were truly welcome. They were invited by Jennifer McCabe and not the house owners. I wish I could bring that information up on the screen, but I can't because it's copyright. But to me, her behavior was more of, could I? Is it possible? I know I was drinking, but is there a chance? What else could it have been at that time? At that time, I don't think she had anything else in her mind. But when you look at the injuries and everything, and then she said a couple of days later, they got the copy of the ring camera at John O'Keefe's house. And on that ring camera, she saw where she backed up, but she didn't realize she had clipped John's car because she was in a panic. Right. So when she saw that, she goes, that's where the taillight damage came from. So I didn't hit him. I don't blame her for her mind going there. I guess as someone who's been on a lot of scenes where we don't know if it was purposeful or accidental, there are people who have been drinking. They say a lot of things in the moment, in the shock, in the fear. It's weird. I'm trying not to get in this coughing fit. Hey, Don. Okay. We're going to table this. We now have Sementilli trials starting. I will be popping out if I'm getting into a heated coughing fit. So please forgive me if I just take my camera down and turn the mic off because I got that bad cough. Here we go. Out of concern.
Council President Jury and also President, good
Did
morning.
I don't
I
know.
think what I'm going to
I
do
don't think I did. I don't
is
believe I
tape
did.
record
Did I?
my apologies, play it once in the morning, once in the afternoon.
What was he apologizing for? I want to know.
Council President Jury and also President, good morning. I think what I'm going to do is tape record my apologies, play it once in the morning, once in the afternoon.
That's one way to do it. Just tape record it.
Your Honor, I believe we ended on page 110, line 17, if we could pick up from there with the rest.
Very good.
You first met Monica in Vegas during that 2016 visit at the Aria. Was there a conversation in front of her between you and Baker about getting rid of Rosen?
No.
Was the conversation from her
I'm-
about how?
I have this gained up as loud as I can. When she walks away from the mic, it's hard to hear her. When she gets to the mic, it's too loud and it gets actually a muffled sound. So I have the captions. I'm so sorry, but it's from the courts. I can't fix it. I did learn how to gain it from RA though, but I can't make it any better. I'm so sorry. I don't have that knowledge.
She didn't love her husband, didn't like her husband, wanted his money.
I would hear that from that conversation, but not from the
So did you hear
I
her
agree,
say anything
Elena.
while you were in Vegas about her husband at all?
no.
I'm gonna make coffee.
Al, who's the person that told you that Monica and Baker had been arrested for this murder? Who did that come from initially? I know you said you heard it from various sources, including Al.
First time told me they've been arrested.
He reached out to you
Yes,
and told you what?
that I was arrested.
Did he tell you Monica was arrested too?
Yeah. He said both of them were arrested. Don't say nothing to anybody. You're good. We got you. You keep doing what you were doing.
We got you. Who was he referring to when he said we?
Rob was himself.
Did you ever talk to Baker from jail?
No.
Did he ever make any three-way calls to a third party where like you'd be on with, let's say, Al or somebody and Baker was on the phone?
Once I was notified that Baker was arrested, I had no intentions on ever speaking to him ever again.
Understood, but was there ever a time where you were on a call and Baker was also included in that call on a three-way?
From jail.
Have you ever talked to Baker since he was arrested?
I remember talking to him before he was arrested.
After?
I might have talked to him once via three-way call.
With who else on the phone?
Mr. Birdsong.
How many times? Once, more than once?
Maybe once.
Do you remember what was discussed?
Don't say anything. We weren't there. If anybody contacts you, ask for a lawyer.
Did he ever say anything to you, he meaning Baker, about Monica? Never mentioned Monica, forget you know her name, never put her name in your mouth? Like,
He probably would have said something like that to me, yes.
well, I don't want to know probably, I want to know specifically, did he ever bring up Monica?
I'm thinking. He said, yeah. He said, don't mention nobody's name, put it all on me.
Did he ever mention Monica's name?
He didn't say anything, he said, don't mention her.
Don't mention her.
Don't mention her. Don't bring anything up. If anybody knocks on your door, you close the door and you ask for an attorney.
Did he ever tell you or discuss with you that there was a protocol? The word protocol ever come up?
Yeah.
What did he say about a protocol?
They get a passport so they're ready to leave. Don't get fined.
Don't dump your phone, get a password for what?
Passport.
A passport. And this protocol was to come into play at what point?
If I was ever picked up.
Well, if you were picked up, that would be too late, right? Like,
I don't know.
Like, if you got picked up by the police, you wouldn't have time to go get a passport. You'd be in custody, like you are now.
Yeah.
So, when was this protocol supposed to come into play? Was this something you were supposed to do after the murder?
Yes. And then yes, after he was arrested, first on telling me he would check in on me from time to time. And he was telling me, keep doing what you're doing. You're good. You have nothing to do with this. Don't worry about it.
Did you ever have any three-way phone calls with Baker, Al, Monica, or anybody else through this guy showing you, this is exhibit 5, it's Attorney Howard Lynch?
Maybe if I saw something that reference, I don't know.
Do you know this guy?
I did
How did you meet this guy?
basketball.
Where?
I met him playing basketball back in 07,
Where?
Canoga.
Outside somewhere?
Like a big, somebody's house. They would like meet every week. You know, a bunch of people would all meet. We all play basketball outside my house.
And who introduced you to him?
Baker.
Did you ever talk to him after Monica and Baker were arrested?
No, I don't think so.
Did you ever make any three-way calls, or were you ever part of any three-way calls that went through this guy's law office?
Maybe.
To who?
Like, are you asking if I made the 3-way call, or what did I pick up the phone? 3-way calls on it.
Did you pick up?
I probably picked up, and it was probably Birdsong and Baker.
Together?
Yeah,
From after Baker was arrested in jail?
I think so. Yeah,
How many times? Do you know the two secretaries that would put together the three-way calls besides
No.
Linda? You know, either the women that work in his office?
No.
How many times have you met this guy?
Basketball a lot, like probably over 8, 10 times. Like this league of basketball. Prior to all of this, that's how I know.
In 2007?
Like around 2007.
How about April? You know Baker's sister April?
I didn't know Baker had.
Well, do you know a woman named April that's related to Baker somehow? Have you ever received any phone calls from someone named April?
Not from my knowledge, no.
They gave you, well, was it, Baker or Birdsong kind of gave you a plan, right? Have your passport, and be ready to go, is that right?
Yes, they told me that after everything went down, they told me that you need to go back, you need to go to work. Before all the arrest happened, that when you go back to the passport, keep going to work, keep doing what you're doing, you're never here, don't worry about it. If anything happens, I will call and let you know.
Who said all?
Birdsong.
Okay.
But I think that came to Baker, because they were very close.
Now, did Baker ever tell you what his plan was for him and Monica? Like, what were they gonna do now?
After everything happened,
Post-murder before arrest?
Yeah. He said like everything's good. I think they took a trip. My other uncle called me, said, I'm seeing you see Baker down here bike week. I was like, oh, okay.
Bike week?
Bike week, yeah.
Where?
Myrtle Beach.
Who's your uncle?
Pete.
Who?
My Uncle Pete.
Pete what?
Bullock.
But did they ever tell you that?
I'm trying to get
Okay.
that. I don't want to lie. So I'm trying to.
No, it helps you go to order, we can always go out of order. Go ahead.
So we chilling at, each other, with some girl. I was like, oh, okay, good. But I didn't want him to even worry about that.
Him being,
My Uncle Keith. And then they,
your uncle?
biological. Apologies.
No worries.
They went to bike week. I talked to Baker in the phone, like, are you okay?
Via phone, message,
Via phone call. Like that.
while you're there?
I would call people to check in, and that's what I did. I followed.
Radio phone or burner phone?
Baker was the better phone. So I'm good, everything's good. I was like, when everything was settled, I'm a thing for you. She gets this money, I'm a thing for you. Meaning, pull me out of Alaska.
He said when was he gonna do this?
When Monica got her settlement,
What settlement?
her insurance and however that works. She said, when she gets this money, I'm a thing for you, and I'll take care of you when you're good. What he didn't know is I didn't plan on living after he told me that. I said, okay. Oh, yeah, cool. And then, the reason he told me the passport, so we would go to, Europe or Mexico somewhere, we want to live out there. It's my understanding via the context of how he said it, if he wanted me to live with him, and him and Monica were going to go live in another country somewhere.
So your understanding was their plan was to leave the country?
Immediately. That's why he wanted to get a passport so bad.
Immediately after what?
She got her settlement.
Did he ever tell you, or did she ever say?
He mentioned that she's be working really. So when I come through, be ready to have a backpack.
Did he ever say anything like that in front of Monica to you?
I don't know. I don't know if he said anything like that to her in front of her. He told me that he was home.
Huh? No, I was thinking about something.
And then,
Where was Monica to get the millionaire number?
after he had told me all that, I didn't, like I said, I did what he asked. I just checked on him periodically. Are you okay?
You said on him?
I checked on him. I said, are you okay? And I asked him, I think, am I okay? Be at home.
I want to show you this. It's a communication. Is this a instant message, Facebook instant message exhibit 4 between you and Baker? Is this the kind of thing you're talking about, or you saying you good?
He asked me if I was good.
Is that what you're talking about, that you guys are checking on each other? You good?
Yeah.
And on this one, is this the one where he tells you to download WhatsApp?
Yes.
Okay. And is that the encrypted app we?
Elena, this case should have been over 20 days ago. Yeah. And his second time on the stand. And co-conspirator Baker was on the stand 4.5 days. And they're probably going to recall him. And this guy is recalled because he was for the prosecution. Now the defense has him. And they love playing these audios, and they suck. Put a nail in my eye, please.
Talked about earlier,
Yes,
and was it your understanding that when you communicated with him via this encrypted app that, no one would be able to know the contents of that communication?
that's what I was told,
By who?
Mr. Baker.
Did you have any communications like this with Monica?
No, ma'am,
At
not to
some,
my knowledge.
at some point, were you informed that Baker pled guilty in this case?
Via television from my mother.
Did your mother tell you that he pled guilty both to murder as well as conspiracy to commit murder of Fabio Sementilli and pretend to life without parole?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was from TV and your mom?
That's my understanding, and then it was reiterated to me, by my wife when I was in Vancouver.
But your wife had never met Baker?
No.
So she knew that you were friends with him?
Yes.
Had she ever been told about Monica?
No.
Had she ever been told about Alberto?
Yes.
When you and Baker would check on each other and say, hey, you good? What did that mean to you? Like, you good mentally, you good physically, anybody been like coming around asking questions, like what does that really mean?
My interpretation, we could have mentally, if anybody can ask me questions.
Was Baker aware that you were mentally struggling after this incident?
Yep.
You kept it secret?
I remember going for a walk. And, start back to there, like the last one. I saw there and I said, this is it. And they ran. And I cried. And that's when I did that. So I was like, okay, I was struggling. I was struggling bad for like 2 years.
Who's Troy Hodge?
Who's Troy Hodge?
Looks like maybe somebody you were communicating with while you were in Vegas in July of 2016. Does that make a bell? So it looks like while you were in Vegas in July of 2016, Monica is messaging Troy Hodge, who just happens to live in Anchorage, and has ties to the military like Baker. Is that somebody that you are familiar with? Do you recognize that name?
I'm trying to, I don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't remember. Do you have a photo of conversation or?
Enjoy lunch.
Did,
Miss Jennifer, enjoy your lunch with your mama. That's always a special time.
were you ever on a third, three-way call with Monica and Al?
I don't remember that.
Were you aware that Monica and Al were tight or that they were in communication?
I assumed that they were because of how everything was formulated.
Okay,
not
so
me.
did Alice mention, I spoke to Monica, Monica's in jail right now, but Baker's gonna take the fall from her or anything like that?
Yeah.
What did Al say about that?
She said Baker's gonna, no, she said, don't worry about everything, Baker's gonna do his thing, you got nothing to worry about. And I was just,
Yes,
So did he ever say
100%.
anything about Monica?
yeah, but she's trying to say she didn't have anything to do with it.
Or something like that?
Yeah.
Did he ever say anything else about Monica? Was he irritated about that, or was that from the thing that she's gonna say?
He's kind of irritated. And frustrated about the whole thing.
That she ever,
That bitch knew what was going down.
Who said that?
Third time.
Birdtown said that bitch knew what was going down?
Yes. Yeah. And then our conversation was plain and bland. He never brought it up.
Who?
Birdtown.
Never brought up
After they were arrested, never really brought it up.
Monica and,
Martha and Baker over here, and he checked in on me every now and again. I checked in on him.
anything before or after the murder, did anybody bring up the fact that Fabio had children?
Yeah, Baker did.
What did he say about that? Let me ask you this, we haven't even talked about the actual murder yet. When you were there that day, was there any sense of urgency or any comment by Baker about the fact that you guys had to get this done within a certain amount of time because the daughters were coming home?
Yes,
What was that?
she said, we gotta go now. She went to the store to be home alone.
She went to store meeting too.
Monica went to the store. And we went.
He said, just before that, was there a phone call or was there any communication?
There was a communication via phone. He picked up the phone and walked out of the room.
So it was a call.
I believe it was a call. A call or a text. I believe it was a call. And he said, we gotta go now. She's gonna run to the store. She left the door unlocked. We gotta go now. And he said she left the door. And he put me in the trunk. I'm assuming because he didn't want me to know where I was going.
He put you in the trunk?
Yeah.
But you had already been to this house before?
Yeah.
He put you in the trunk in his garage?
Yeah.
Until he drove where?
Until he drove to wherever he parked the car, and he let me out, and then we jumped up the hill. And you asked me if that was a legit act. No, it didn't. My front door is unlocked often.
Yeah.
And other people, it didn't.
But you knew that where you were going, because the night before the plan was to kill Fabio at the supermarket.
Yes.
And before you even left his house, he gave you clothing, you said?
Yes.
What kind of clothes did he give you?
Baggy dark clothes.
And what did he tell you to do with the baggy dark clothes?
After the victim, after he was killed, told me to go in the garage and get in the car, and that's what I did, and I waited. And it seemed like a very long time.
You didn't help him clean up the house?
I had seen the house outside of the kitchen and the patio, in the living room area.
Did you guys go in through Monica's unlocked sliding door? The bedroom sliding door?
We went through the front door.
You went to the front door. And you drove to the house in a, what?
The rental car.
Did Baker ever tell you where he got the rental vehicle from?
No.
And you never asked questions about where the rental vehicle comes from?
Oh, well, I saw it in a Friday.
So you saw it.
We get around the town, like, had little stickers.
So you saw Enterprise on the car?
I think it was, yeah, somewhere.
And who drove the car to somewhere near the crime scene where you guys got out and jogged up? Okay.
Baker drove the car to the crime scene, and then when he took the
Hello, Sticky Widget. Welcome back.
As a rental, something like that?
Yeah, I believe that's it.
You drove that vehicle. So after you left the crime scene, we'll go back to the crime, but after you left the crime scene, Baker, you said, dropped you off somewhere near a tunnel?
Yeah.
And how far was that from the house to the crime scene?
Maybe 3 minutes.
3 minutes away?
He was driving quickly.
Did he say anything to you about shit, we just, or, oops,
He said,
one of the daughters?
no, I don't think so.
Meaning, do you recall if you passed someone that you never like it?
Hey, babe.
Would have been coming home if you passed them.
I had my head down. He told me to put my head
Did you
down.
get anything?
He said, shit. That's what he said.
That's all I said.
Yeah.
Is this what you're talking about, a tunnel showing you in Exhibit 10?
Yeah.
That kind of tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay. And so he just let you out there, and how long were you there before he picked you up?
There, I wasn't there. I ran. I wasn't there. I didn't, you said,
He dropped you off.
you just dropped me off and I ran
And then where did he pick you up?
on the main street.
If you know, if you weren't staying there, how would he know where to pick you up?
I have no clue, but I ran.
What was he talking about?
I think so, he could jump the car without me.
Did you know ahead of time you were gonna take the car to the garage? Was that part of the plan?
Yeah, because she told him that she can leave the keys.
Hey, what you doing, love?
Where?
I don't know.
How do you know that?
That's what he told me. What I'm telling you is what he told me from her.
Did you see the keys in the kitchen?
No. I didn't look for much of anything except for I went and, again, I didn't have my glasses. So I'm really fogged because I didn't have my glasses.
So he told you that,
Just go in the garage, take me back.
and he, as far as verbal, what he told, she told him, I'm going to the store right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Yes.
And then I think at one other point you said that maybe it was when we were in Vancouver that, Baker told you he's home alone now, that she told him he's home alone now. Is
Yeah.
that something else that he told you Monica said he's home alone now? And then he told you Monica said, I'll leave the door unlocked, or I left the door unlocked.
Left the door.
Left the door, and then Monica also told him, I'll give you the keys. So, I did the keys on his
I didn't have that information. He did.
Right,
I
I
didn't.
told her these things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She told him, he told you those things.
Yes.
Was there anything else that you remember that he said Monica told him about this?
When after everything went down, he was like, you gotta go. And I was like, I gotta leave. And he dropped me off at the bus station. And we said, she wanted him dead. Don't worry about anything. I'll take care of it.
Did you say why she wanted him dead?
No, but I know why.
Based on what?
Her collective insurance money,
Based on what? What information?
because of what he said, like in the past before it all went down, she got money. So my interpretation of that is, you help me do this, I will take care of you. No money, it's okay.
Were you all under the impression that the entire time you guys were planning this, that she also was on board with the plan for it to happen?
Yeah.
Would you have gone through with this plan if you believed that she was not enough?
No. No.
Did Al also make it clear to you, besides what David said, did Al also make it clear to you that this was all done? That Monica was the mastermind, she's the one that wanted her husband dead? What did he tell you about what Monica said? Did you give the statement that David told you Monica said? What did he tell you that Monica said?
She said it's like, she wants this stuff to go on because she wants it to happen quick. And they should have but it was so short. I don't know why the time frame was so fast and needed to happen fast, but she didn't want it. Is what my interpretation and context I got from Birdsong.
Why didn't Birdsong commit the act himself? Was there ever any discussion about why he would not do it, or why Baker would not do it initially?
Then we say,
Were you expecting to get any money from Monica?
no,
So what was supposed to be, like you were telling us before, the payoff, $30,000 to $40,000 to $50,000, where was that money supposed to come from?
Baker,
And where was Baker's money, because he had none, where was his money supposed to come from?
Monica.
So in turn, really, Baker was going to get money from Monica's life insurance payout to then pay you.
That's how I understood it.
Is that what he told you?
Yes,
So he was planning on getting, the insurance money from Monica to then pay you.
yes,
Did you also, was the plan also for Mr. Birdsong to get paid as well for his role?
I would assume so, considering they talk more than they talk to me.
Well, you don't know about that.
Not to my knowledge, but I heard,
And Baker wasn't, Birdsong wasn't in LA.
not to my knowledge.
Did you meet up with somebody, by the name of Shane or Shane Holmes again when you came to LA for this murder?
I don't recall.
How about a guy named Antranik Manassian?
No.
Did you ever see Baker's roommate when you were in LA that time, for the murder?
Not that I could recall. I heard him, but I didn't see him.
How about Donald Duckett? Is that a name you're familiar with?
No,
Okay. What about Tyrone Clark?
no,
How about a Janine Eiley or Ely?
no,
How about Roger Brown?
no.
You don't know Roger Brown?
The picture?
Did you ever go to an apartment in Glendale? Where Baker introduced somebody? Glendale, California, 20 and a half hours. Showing you Elizabeth 11. Okay. Sorry, it's copy. Ever meet that guy?
He looks familiar. He looks familiar.
Did you know that Baker was staying with him after the murder for a while?
That's what he was saying. It was, yeah, they were room. Is that the one with the security guy?
No. Did Baker ever tell you that Monica went by the name Madonna? You ever hear that name? No. What's Oz Entertainment?
I remember it as his management business.
The adult porn industry business?
Yeah.
How come you have a OEG, website address?
He set that up when I was working for him. I would get on the internet and he would ask me to just look for models who wanted to get into the industry and send them a generic email that he had cooked up. And then they would come to the office at the time.
So why does Chloe have one?
I think that was set up.
By who?
Oh, we had a full week again.
Uh-huh.
Probably set up by him. I didn't know that.
Can you give me a bunch of names, are you done with that? To give you a bunch of names that you don't recall, do you recall anybody else involved in the planning of this? We know Bert, we know Baker, we know Monica. Was there anybody else that you recall involved in either the pre-planning or that day?
I would have to see pictures. I don't really remember like a whole lot of names.
Well,
Sometimes the names are fake.
even if those names, were there any other individuals, like even if other names that were involved, either you were on communication with them, or they were at the scene, or in another car, or anything like that you know?
I don't recall. I just recall me and Baker being together along the day that it happened.
So let me ask you something, at some point after the murder, you were driving the rental car alone,
Yes,
and you got pulled over and a ticket in the rental car 45 minutes after the murder.
I did.
Where were you headed?
Baker wanted me to follow him in his, I wanted the expedition to park the rental or return it. And then I got in the car with him. My duffel bag was already in the back seat. And he drove me to the bus lot.
Okay, but you got pulled over,
Mhm.
and did Baker pull over as well?
I don't think so.
Well, did you see him getting pulled over before or after you? So if you,
I was following him.
so you were following him, he kept going.
Mhm.
After you get pulled over, where did you go?
There was a little restaurant on the corner. I don't remember the name of it.
What
But
kind?
it's like a diner type spot.
On what street?
Whatever the street off of Independence to the left is. So you come out of where his apartment was and you make a left.
Like Annawood?
Yeah.
So you catch up with Baker at some point, I'm assuming, after you
He
get pulled
parked
over.
here, he had parked his park, he told me and I said, we're going to the little restaurant.
So when you got to the little restaurant, was the two of you planning on eating there?
Not from my knowledge.
So you were
It
meeting,
was like dusk. It was like getting dark.
so you were planning to meet there at the time?
Yes.
And what happens once you meet Baker there after you've now been ticketed in the rental vehicle? That was
He drives me to the bus depot, I think.
in the Hannah Flyway?
Yes.
Why?
He said, we gotta go.
Because,
And your ticket.
because of the fact that you got the ticket?
No, I think because of the murder happened, he wanted me gone.
So, but you guys, so then he,
I didn't say,
right, but you were planning on staying for the 24th, your ticket was for the 24th.
the
He
next
takes
one.
you, right, he takes you to the bus depot,
Mhm.
you take the shuttle to LAX.
Yes.
You pay money at the counter to change your ticket from the next day to that night so you can fly back to Anchorage.
Yes.
Where did your cell phone during all of this?
I left my cell phone.
Where?
It fell out in my pocket.
Where did you leave it?
I was told not to take my phone. Don't bring my phone.
Where did you leave your cell phone?
My cell phone fell out of the car, fell in my pocket in Chloe's car at the time.
But you weren't, whether it fell out or not, you were gonna leave it at home.
Yeah.
In closed car.
Who told you not to take your phone?
First time I told her not to bring my phone,
And did he tell you why?
so they can't track you.
So how did you tell Chloe How did you get a hold of Chloe to tell her that you were coming back a day early so she was going to pick you up?
I used a random phone.
Phone.
Before. Mac. Wanted to make a promise to the airport.
Okay.
I asked her to use her phone. I said, hey, I'm gonna come back a day early. She's like, oh, okay. And like I said, we were getting to know each other. And,
You were close.
yeah.
So you didn't tell her anything. And when you left and got on the plane that night, were you at all worried that, like, looking over your shoulder, like the police are gonna catch you?
Yes.
Like, were you scared that the police pulled you over in a rental vehicle, like, this is it?
Honestly, no.
You didn't?
Because I didn't have a driver's license, so I knew I was gonna go to jail because I don't have a license. I was told that way the police will take you to jail almost anything.
But you didn't think when the police were pulling over you in the rental car that was rented for the purpose of this murder, you didn't think you were going into custody for this murder?
In that moment, no.
So you purposely left your cell phone in Anchorage
As instructed, yes.
as instructed by Al. Did you ever discuss the fact that you left your cell phone in Anchorage with Baker?
When he picked me up, he asked one of the first questions he asked was, do you have your phone here? That's no, that's it.
At LAX? When you were picked you up in LAX on the 22nd?
Yes.
What did, how did Baker describe his relationship with Monica?
He didn't really. The whole, this kind of goes back to the whole, like, I guess, planning thing. So she wants to get, or whoever.
But he did tell you, from what he told us earlier, that he and she were planning on leaving the country
Mm-hmm.
after this murder and living together.
Yeah. He didn't really think it. So I'm like,
Well, that's a lot,
I
right?
think I love this thing. I was like, oh, okay.
He said, I think I love this bitch.
Yeah.
Who's Brandy Abel?
Somebody I used to work with.
Is she somebody that you dated?
You know,
Because you texted her the day after the murder. Actually, multiple calls and texts went back and forth on January 24th. When you went back to Alaska, you had multiple calls and texts with her on that.
we were kind of like talking with her. And she was going to be coming. And we worked together emotionally.
Did you tell her about what had happened?
No.
I just, after, you know that I'm going back, just because I'm kind of thinking linear, but after you first laid eyes, I remember on Monica in Vegas, you get back, right, and you heard a song, and they were talking about Monica, they're talking about her husband, and Burns was telling you ways that you could do it. You're starting to realize that they're involving you in a potential plan, and that started in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And now when you got back to Alaska, you had more conversations with the plan than there's more conversations about the plan. So you got more real.
Just that when she got the money, they were gonna leave the country. And I remember hearing words like, we're gonna be set, we're gonna be good.
What about her daughters? Was there any conversation about what she was gonna do with her two young daughters?
You know,
I'm more talking about like putting this plan in motion, because you had that first conversation, right? Now, there has to be more follow-up conversations about how it's actually going to happen. It's still like, what, 5 months out. So during that time when you got back July 2016 from Vegas, what conversations, like what next steps did you guys take in planning or talking about it? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But I just.
Yeah. So you left Vegas after this initial conversation, you went home, you now end up on a three-way call again, or for the first time with Burnsong, Baker, and you, where you're actually now talking about putting this conversation into motion, actually making a plan with the date, the time, place.
I don't remember like the whole date,
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna do it this time, stuff like that, but I do remember like them just talking about it in general. I didn't really interject too much.
But that was the purpose of you coming in on January 22nd, was to handle it.
Yeah, that's what they wanted me to do.
So there were three-way calls before the actual day, you had three-way calls with them when you discussed this?
Yeah.
And then at any point, do you remember them, saying like they stepped away, or they called Monica, or they included her in the conversation, or any?
I think they said we'll call you back.
Okay.
Burnsong, Baker. I didn't really talk to them.
No, I know you didn't, but you met that, now you've gone on with your life, plans starting to kind of form that you're gonna.
I agree.
put it into action.
Sticky widget.
But it's been how,
I
they
was
telling you,
they would just drop it, but
but they didn't.
they did.
Oh,
But you.
that's normal.
Calling you, talking about it.
Yeah.
And when they're calling you, talking about it, were they giving you input that Monica had told them at this point now?
But she was gonna try to figure out how to get them along.
Okay,
So it'd be like, you know, their words, not mine,
right,
in and out.
okay.
So I think that she was planning to set them up to be like alone somewhere.
Is that what Baker or Birdsong told you?
Yeah,
Who showed you the picture of Fabio? Is that what he looked like?
I think Baker did.
You think?
I believe Baker showed me a picture.
Where was
Like,
the picture?
on the phone.
Was there ever any days considered before January 23rd? Like, was there ever a plan before that you actually nailed down a date and you're gonna fly in?
You know, I think they wanted me to fly like December. I was like, I gotta work, I got things to do.
What was the discussion about that?
When can we fly in?
Was it December stuff?
Can you fly in December? Yeah, I was like, no. And then they said, well, I'm gonna try to fly you off for your birthday weekend. I was like, maybe. I'll see if I get the time off.
Okay. How many times, oh, sorry.
You sure can I have fun? Thanks, Bob.
So 5 minute break?
Yeah,
5 minute break? It's 2:55, guys, we're going off. Record for 2 minutes, so everyone should take a bathroom break. Okay, it's 3:10, everyone's had a break. Mr. Austin, are you ready to go back on the record?
Yes, ma'am.
And before we go back, I want to put a couple of things on the record
Yes.
that I spoke with Mr. Austin during our pre-test. Number one, he recalled that the incident was scheduled for his birthday weekend because at the time he had 3 jobs, and Baker had suggested that you should tell your job you're coming to LA for your birthday weekend and ask for that weekend off. Is that correct, Mr. Austin?
That is correct.
And what were your jobs at the time?
Mental health specialist at an all-girls treatment facility. I was a substitute for the school district, and I was coaching football and mentoring youth in the jail in downtown.
So Baker wanted you to take off from your 3 jobs to come in to perform this job, killing Fabio Sementilli when?
On my birthday weekend,
Which would have been,
the 20th of January.
The next thing I wanted to clear up is that, this person Shane that you asked about,
yes,
go ahead, Mr. Austin, explain who you think Shane is or what, his,
I think Shane is possible, his name comes up because I believe that's somebody who either Baker or Mr. Birdsong knew to try to do it with me.
how do you know that?
Because
Sorry.
he lived in the area. And so he knew, like, he would know how to, like, maneuver after if everything went down. And he wanted me to go to him, but I don't know what to handle that.
Did his name come up? Is it
Yeah.
Shane?
The name's Shane.
By both Baker and Birdsong? Baker. And when did Baker discuss with you this guy named Shane, who might be the second person to go with you?
It was one of those three that I kind of mentioned it, but I didn't know who it was.
Again, was that in person, or was that a conversation that took place by phone? Between you
And they want,
Baker?
and you go to a conference and they say, we got closed captioning. You don't need an interpreter. And I'm like, why don't you sit at that said closed captioning? You can hear and count how many mistakes it makes and how it changes the concept of what's being said.
I think it was in person.
When? When you were in 2016?
Yes.
Did you ever hear after the fact that Shane had any role?
No.
And lastly, all the names that you were asking Mr. Austin about, he does not recall the names, but if you have photographs at some point when we reconvene, that would be helpful to look at their photographs so you can recognize.
Okay. When you went to the house, Monica's house, not the time that you actually committed the murder, but the time before where you said you fell asleep and she ordered pizza, did she show you around the house?
No.
Did you note that there was a surveillance camera, TV camera in the kitchen that showed different vantage points of surveillance cameras?
Not that I recall.
Was there any conversation on the day of the murder, January 23rd, about removing the DVR box from the house, which was situated in the garage, in order to take any evidence of the two of you and Baker being caught on that box?
No conversation. But as I said, when I got in the car, I was kind of waited for him. And I was like I said, I was in shock. Everything happened so fast. And I remember him saying, I had to get some stuff.
Did you see him in the garage unhooking the DVR box?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I mean, again, if I can, I'm in the car, I'm kind of like panting, I'm like looking around, and he goes over there in the corner doing something, and I'm like just looking around, and now I'm listening, I don't know what's happening, and then he comes in with his stuff. Cookies, the box thing, like, yeah, and put it like under his feet.
So this is the garage, this is the door of the kitchen. Do you recognize the garage?
I do.
And on top of the cabinet in the garage is the DVR box.
I didn't see that when he came in with it, he came in the car with it.
So you thought they could get into the car carrying the DVR box?
He got in the car, he had it in his hand.
Did you ask him about it?
Nope.
So it sounds like you didn't ask any questions about anything, you just went along with whatever. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you like bring any items like from, you saw just that, right? But did you say anything about the bedrooms or going to the house or making it look like a robbery, anything like that?
He said that I had to make it look like a robbery.
Did you help him do that?
No,
Did Birdsong ever, in your conversation, say or coach that is what he does?
basically like you can't just go in and just
Were you there with Al telling Baker this stuff?
to go with the phone over the phone.
When were you on?
Like a three-way.
To make it look like a robbery?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Or what?
Or this bakery. They agreed to that. Yes. They go over and say, yeah, they had to make it look like a robbery.
When you went to the house, right? And you said you get into the trunk of the rental, you drive over there, he parks the vehicle, and then the two of you drive up to the house.
Yeah.
When you drive up to the house, what happens then?
Baker opened the door,
Front,
front door. Baker opened the front door. And, I go in with him and he creeps to the back door
where?
by the patio.
The one that's in the kitchen or the one that's in the family room area that looks out onto the backyard and pool?
Walk in the door and the patio is like right there,
Pool, it's straight in front of you?
almost like a slight angle.
Mm-hmm. And then what?
And Baker counts to three. And we go out and rush and Baker
You counted to three while you're in where? In the family room or in the kitchen?
in kitchen, family room, in between.
So here's the, put the exhibit tab on it. First is the family room window. Yeah. Did you know he was gonna be out there?
Baker told me he was gonna be out there, because he said Monica was, he's on the back porch.
Monica said he's on the back porch.
That's the information I got from Baker from Monica.
That's what David told you.
That's what Baker told me
And when did he tell you that?
when we got to the front door.
The right when you're going in the house,
He said,
in Baker, David.
he should be in the back.
Okay.
Or patio.
You didn't know the layout, well, you've been in there before, but did you remember the layout of the house?
I remember that. I remember
So you're looking right now at exhibit 13.
I remember sitting right there in that corner.
What time you were there before?
And that's where I was. They didn't show me, he didn't show the house under that. After I ate maybe a couple slices. Put the TV on, whatever it was on, I don't remember. And I just sat there and they went off somewhere.
In the house, you never talked about, well,
And then
you just sat there.
Go, man. I only have a few hours before I have to go. Man, this is passing quick. I'm gonna speed it up just a hair to catch up. Because I don't want a sleep timer. I want to catch up.
So when you come in the house showing you 15, this would be coming into the front door, right?
Any day,
Any day, the house is like this, right? And you would walk through and then to a shut down living room area, right? With windows that look out onto the yard. And so you guys came into the front door,
Yes.
walked through to the living room area, and when you look through these windows, you can see the pool, right?
Yes.
And it's showing you, and this is looking at exhibit 15 and 13, 15 being the front door, 13 being the living room area. If you go to the left when you're in the living room, that would take you into the kitchen, which you see is 14, is that right?
Yes.
And you can see the door that's open.
Yes.
Is that the door that you guys went out to rush Fabio, or did you go out the doors from the family room area?
we went out and did it 14 door.
And Fabio, where was he?
Sitting in a chair,
Sitting in a chair doing what?
sitting in a chair. I'm smoking a cigar.
Is that what you saw?
Yeah, I think he was smoking something.
What do you do? When you guys, when you walk out the door? Showing you exhibit 16, this would be the door that you were talking about, you come out onto the patio where Fabio was?
Yes.
And was there also a television out there, a fire pit?
I think so, yeah.
Did you see Fabio smoking a cigar there?
I think he was smoking a cigar there. I think.
June, I think she believes most of his testimony. I think she's just trying to get everything laid out or, she's doing her job. I think and he's being polite and answering, so they're just going back and forth. She really did not like Baker, and Baker was an arrogant, pompous jerk with a mouth and an attitude. So that's how she handled him. I was all for it.
Showing you in,
Not 4.5 days, though.
is it 17, this chair here, is this the chair that Fabio was sitting in facing, the television when you guys came out back door?
Yes.
And did Fabio say anything to the two of you when you come out?
He tried to get a bigger cover his mouth already.
And this is recorded early on, what in court.
How did he cover his mouth?
With his hand.
And then what happened?
He started stabbing me.
With which knife? You told us about two. And then he's driving the Porsche at some point, and is this after you go back to David's apartment, you leave later, 45 minutes later is that when you get the ticket? You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
He dropped me off and told me to drive me for a stone over here, but he told me to get out. And I just got out. And I started running and jogging and running. The night time and I buried it.
Got it.
And I was like, I want to find the main street. And so I found the main street. I go out, make a right, and I just keep jogging. And then I feel about stop and I sit down. And then he miraculously pulls up.
How long after he had dropped you off?
I was probably jogging for like 5 minutes.
Pretty short. So David picked you up within 5 minutes?
About that.
And you go where?
What car is the ambulance picked you up?
The rental.
And where do you go?
Back to the apartment.
And why do you go back to the apartment? Because you guys leave shortly thereafter because you get a ticket.
Yeah.
So when do you go back to the rental, to the apartment for? What's the purpose?
All my stuff is in his truck. I think we switched cars and he's going to take it to the airport.
So you knew you were leaving that day at that point?
He said, I got to get you out of here.
And so then you were following him in the rental to go to Enterprise to dump the rental?
This is a recording of an interview at the police station by the DA and all of that. This is a recording. And the defense is put it on. But I don't know who's actually asking, or is it redirect at this point? They're just listening to the testimony again.
Retirement, yeah. But I think it was like a restaurant that we parked at. And then I got in his car. So I don't remember like dropping the rental car off at the actual rental.
Was that the plan though, that you were gonna go return the rental car, or where would the two of you go?
At this point, I'm just following his instructions.
Right, and what is the plan? What is he telling you? Follow me where?
He said, follow me to this restaurant.
Which restaurant?
I don't remember the name of the restaurant.
Where is it?
It's on the corner of wherever we turned out of his apartment from.
So somewhere near Independence?
Yeah.
And that's when you get stopped?
Yeah. I
And,
think I got stopped for being in the middle lane too long.
not wearing a seatbelt.
No, I see that.
And then after you get stopped, the cop lets you go,
Yes.
and then you continue to the restaurant,
Yeah, where he waited for me.
and then you get out of the rental car,
Yes.
and you get into what?
His car.
Which car?
I think it was Expedition.
And then in the expedition, he drives you to Flyaway?
Yes.
And the next time you talk to him is later that week when we
Robin,
in
I'm-
Alaska?
Robin, I am so there with you. Do you know what? It's zoomed. It's all the way up. It's caught up. They're going to be taking a break soon. I apologize. I can't do anything about it. This is what we listened to for almost 5 days. It's ridiculous. I'm hoping we're getting to the end of this part.
Does Baker give you money in cash while you're still in LA for the bird song, or do you do the same song and dance where he puts money into his account and you withdraw it from using his ATM card from your credit one account?
He gave me a little cash.
How much money does Baker give you in LA?
Maybe like $60 to get around.
In cash? Before you even leave LA?
I think so.
When did you give you the full coin?
When he got me at the bus station, I think it was from his collection.
Did you know that Fabio collected gold coins?
No, I did not.
Did you go into the master bedroom at all to see what Baker was doing in the master bedroom?
No, man.
How many rolls? You said it amounts to probably $3,000.
Give or take about that, yeah.
Okay.
What they did.
No, I'm asking you, did you know, because you said, I think it was from his collection, did you know Rob to have, or Baker to have a collection of gold coins?
No.
Oh,
He just said, here, take these.
so you don't know where they came from?
No, I don't.
Okay. So you've never seen them with gold coins before, because it's an odd kind of thing to making payments in?
No.
Okay. So you don't know if he got them from Fabio's house?
No, but I was just saying, yeah, he probably got it from Fabio's house. I don't know how to pay with those.
So when Baker got into the car, of course, when you guys leave the crime scene, you said he came in with the DVR. Did he come in with a pillowcase filled with anything?
Yeah, he came with those things.
How many?
One. That I recall.
Do you remember the color or anything?
It was teal. Or
Teal?
it had tealish blue, kind of a little lighter color.
Okay. And did you ask him what was in the pillowcase?
No.
So he told you to duck down in the corner.
Yeah, he told me to, he put his hands and shoulders and put your head down.
Did you seem worried at all about that he was driving Fabio's Porsche out of the neighborhood?
Huh?
Did you seem worried about that he was driving Fabio's Porsche out in the neighborhood? Did you seem worried about it? You just got to driving his Porsche out. Yeah.
I know what my emotions were and my feelings were.
It sounds like hopefully this Wednesday, did you say, at 10:30?
Correct, I'll be at PCD, I have a couple matters that I should have done.
Okay. And hopefully that'll work with everybody else's schedules, if not, we'll all communicate. Yeah, if not, we'll all communicate about that. And so we're now gonna go off record at 3:34 PM on November 18th.
I'm going to leave you to collect the transcripts. Let's take our morning recess. We'll limit it to 10 minutes. The evidence replies. See you back in about 10 minutes.
What did I say? 10 minutes, y'all. 10 minutes. Okay, guys, I made a decision. Next week, unless something dramatic happens with Karen Reed, I am going to take my birthday off on Wednesday. Wednesday's my birthday, and my boyfriend wants to take me out all day. And I haven't done that in ages. So I do struggle with these transcripts and struggle with the reading and listening to all these recordings. I understand it's important, it needs to be done, but boring as hell. Okay, so let's take care of that problem. Go to Karen Reed. Let's do some more reading. I like that. Reading. We're going to do some reading. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough on you. It's so frustrating, y'all. There we go. Now comes the Commonwealth respectfully requests the Honorable... Let me do that again. Now comes the Commonwealth respectfully requests the court to pursue it in Massachusetts... Order to unsolved productions, ordering keepers of the record of unsolved production. My nose piece is broke, so I'm having to hold it. Inc. to produce the Criminal Clerk Court Office of Norfolk Superior Court, all unedited. I'm going to have to switch. Can't do it. All unedited video and audio recordings in possession of the Unsolved Productions and producer of Terry Murr from the docuseries A Body in the Snow, a trial of Karen Reed. The support of this motion of the Commonwealth states of the following. Number one, on June 9, 2022, the defendant was indicted by Norfolk grand jury, yada, yada. A jury trial of all three indictments began on April 16, 24, following the deadlock jury finding manifest necessary. The court declared mistrial. The defendant's retrial is scheduled to begin April 1st. However, the Commonwealth has asserted the defendant's request for temporary delayed trial due to part the defendant's appeal to the First Circuit Court of Appeals. Oh, okay. On March 17th, 18th, and 19th, investigative discovery. HBO Max aired 5-part docuseries, A Body in the Snow. Why can't I do that? A Body in the Snow. It's in the snow. It's hard. The Trial of Karen Reed aired docuseries approximately 4.5 hours of behind-the-scenes look in the defendant's team as it prepares for the April 24th jury trial and features extensive interviews with defendant Karen Reed, attorney Alan Jackson, David Yannetti, Elizabeth Little, Terry Murr, president of Unsolved Productions and the producer of the 5-part docuseries, has described in media interviews that the access to the defendant and her defense team was unprecedented. As a part of docuseries, the defendant and her counsel permitted cameras to record their trial preparation sessions in the war room, the car rides, and from court, where the defendant and her counsel discussed upcoming testimony trial strategies, often commenting on evidence, prosecutor, or the court, one-on-one interview with the defendant and the defense counsels. Every statement made by the defendant pertaining to the facts and circumstances surrounding the death of John O'Keefe is revealed, relevant, and evidentiary, especially given the nature of the statements made by the defendant. In this 5-part docuseries, the defendant makes inconsistent statements with previous statements she's made to law enforcement, witnesses, and most revealing to other media reporters during the voluntary interviews. For example, the defendant now claims she was unequivocally saw John O'Keefe enter 34 Fairview Road and admit that to consuming large amount of vodka and being significantly impaired. Her position, even within the 5-part docuseries, wavers from the claim that she remembers every detail of January 29, 2022, admissions that maybe her memory wasn't as clear as where she had been drinking. Okay, I have no problem with that. She'd been drinking. She admits it. They all were drinking. In fact, I think that I'm appalled that every single one of those people at that bar and at the house who drove away, even though they drove away and nobody caught them drinking and driving, they admitted on the stand under oath that they had been drinking and they drove. They should be brought up on some kind of charges or disciplinary actions. That's my humble opinion, because these people are in law enforcement, and the only ones who got trouble for drinking and driving was a dishonorable discharge, Michael Proctor. All the other people who were drinking and driving that night didn't get disciplined for that. The defendant confirms in her relationship, confirms the altercations with Moretta Sullivan in Aruba, confirms her flirtation text to Brian Higgins. Well, she confirmed that in trial the first time. confirms that she was angry with John O'Keefe. Yes, she was, and convinced that John may have been cheating on her with the woman who resides in the neighborhood around 34 Fairview Road. The defendant further discussed John O'Keefe's residence during the late morning of January 29th and mocked Mr. O'Keefe's opinion of John looked like he'd been hit by a car. You know what? A lot of people disagreed with that. A lot of people disagree with that. Contrary to the representations made in court on March 18, 2025, the defendant admits on March 17, 2025, aired episodes that she had been intermediary to share discovery with Aiden Kearney. What? She used an intermediary. Yeah. Then, with permission of her defense counsel, shared public information, presumably all the discovery provided by the defense that would ordinarily be deemed not be deemed public due to the investigationary nature of the prosecution with Kearney. Give me a quick moment, though. Give me a second. Okay, guys, I hate hummus. Not because it's the hummus part. I don't like what people mix it with. I haven't found one. They're usually spicy or really nasty. My daughter has begged me to try the roasted red pepper hummus. I hate roasted red pepper. She swears it doesn't taste like it, but I see it. I see the red flakes. She's promising y'all. So this is going to be a moment or a I am purposefully getting a piece of red flake.
Don't smell it. Don't smell it.
Now she's saying don't smell it.
No,
Oh God,
it's
y'all.
just weird.
Do I dare?
It's easier to eat with pita chips at first. You gotta eat the whole thing. You can't just eat straight hummus. But it's easier to eat with pita chips than carrots at first. It takes some getting used to.
It is not horrible. It's not spicy. I'll give it that. So there's no heat. I could potentially do this. I could potentially do that.
You would probably like it with the pita chips more.
Probably. That you're okay. Sarah, you won.
Love you.
I don't like bell pepper. It's just the flavor. I'm not, ever since I had my first chemo treatment, anything that's peppery, even black pepper, too much of it, paprika, yeah, it physically is uncomfortable. And I tell people, it's not that I don't like it, it doesn't like me. Okay, back. Mr. Kearney used this material to advance the defendant's narrative and direct harassment of witnesses. See, once again, I feel like they're trying to try Mr. Kearney in the eyes of the Karen Reed people. You're crossing cases. Yep. I don't use paprika much. Mr. Kearney, okay. She further admitted that she spoke with Mr. Kearney regularly about her case. Well, she can. She can talk to whoever she wants. That's why they want their text. Further, contrary to representation made in this court on March 18, 2025 episode, the defendant expressed reckless indifference that the witness, many who come to the defendant's aid have been intimidated and harassed by the defendant's state. Jen McCabe, it's me or her. Either I'm going down or Jen or you. She has a right to say things. I mean, come on, guys. Okay, I'm going to try. It's easy to sit on another side of the fence and tear somebody apart and judge everything they say. She is right. It's either she's going down, possibly Jen McCabe, or somebody else. Somebody's going down. That to me does not upset me at all. And then she has a right to believe what she believes. And if she believes, sorry, I'm angling a little. If she believes that so and so did it, she has just as much right to say that as some other people who are in the police department who were supposed to be evidence based and not target individual based have a right to say what they believe too. Everybody has a right to say what they believe. But somebody's going to go down, and it's her. Could be Jennifer, could be Brian Higgins, it could be the Alberts, but right now they're trying to get to be her. The 5-part docuseries also ripe of new information previously unknown to Commonwealth. For example, the defendant's statement that John O'Keefe exited her vehicle holding her vodka soda drink, that she clearly saw John's body from Carrie Roberts' vehicle, and that she pulled a small piece of glass off of John O'Keefe's nose. The defendant further revealed initial beliefs in the immediate aftermath of John O'Keefe's death, stating that Attorney Yeti and waiving any associated privileges. What if I ran his foot over? Or what if I clipped him in the knee and he passed out? Or went to care for himself and threw up and passed out? Guys, when you come upon an accident, all right, Gerald, correct me if I'm wrong. When a first responder comes up on an accident and we don't know really what happened, but we see things, we in our mind start all the scenarios. What could this have happened? Could this have happened? Could that happen? Did this happen? Did that happen? That is a normal thing for everybody to do. You are trying to take minute amount of evidence and make sense of it. Because when we're a first responder, we need to figure out what happened so we can figure out what potential injuries are there or what's going on with the victim. And sometimes we're not right. We're guessing until the evidence starts presenting. And once the evidence starts presenting, the picture starts becoming clear. Now, the thing though is we're not on trial. The defendants have repeatedly used media to promote her position, explicitly stating in Vanity Fair, if I can get the entire truth, as articulated by the defendant, of this case out in the public forum, that to me is priceless. During the 5-part docuseries, the defendant declares that doing this film is my testimony. I want to say what happened, exactly what happened. This trial by media. They're coming back in. This trial by media strategy has repeatedly been employed by the defendant's defense counsel for over 3 years. We're going to hold there. Court is back in session. And remember, I have an hour and a half before I leave. I am so sorry. I will get to what I can, but I have to have a hard cut at 3. 3:30 is fine. We'll do 3:30. Well, you're right, Gerald. You are right on that. But what I'm saying is,
that tape recording of
for example, I walk up on scene. There's 3 vehicles who that's involved. You can see the damage, and you got a bicycle laying on the road. You got victims everywhere. And the first thing I'm going to assume is that the bicycle was a part of the accident. Whoever was on that bicycle was a part of the accident. That's assumption. The bicycle's laying in the road. You got a pickup, you got car, you got an SUV. There's debris everywhere. There's hurt people. But as you get on scene, you question, you ask things, you start finding out the bicycle could have been in the back of the pickup and it just fell out during the accident. So there's not a bicyclist that's injured. I'm just saying we all guess, and even victims. I thought it was a log. I thought it was a deer, but it was a human being. I've been on scene where a guy hit. I visually was behind a car when he hit a man. I didn't see a human. I didn't see anything. I thought it was the way he slammed on his brakes. It was a deer. He slammed on his brakes. I slammed my brakes on him. He runs out of the car around the front into the ditch. I start to go around him thinking he hit a deer. And then as I go around him, I see a tennis shoe in the road. I'm like, oh my God. No, he didn't. I bolt out of my car and it was a man. And I won't describe it. It was horrible, but I started CPR. He didn't survive. I know, right? I know. No, right? Good still. So I guess all my jibber jabbering, I'm just saying it is human nature to start surmising and guessing when you don't know. As a juror, that's not going to put me on the fence of guilt at all. That will not put me on the fence of guilt. If they're sitting in an interview and they say, yeah, I hit him. I can't believe I did it. It was an accident. I couldn't see him. I didn't see him. I love him. I was drinking. He was drinking. That's a confession. Could I? Did I? Is it plausible? It's not a confession.
The proper session between you and your attorney and Ms. Silverman, Ms. Stagel, and I think one of the police officers present as well. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did it appear to accurately reflect, to the best of your recollection, what occurred on that day, the questions, the answers, and so forth?
Yes, sir.
And there were a couple of times when you met with your attorney outside the presence of everyone else, in other words, in private?
Yes, sir.
And you had a conversation with him and then came back outside and finished the proffer session, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, is it true that the second session was actually 2 days after the first one? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Refresh your memory, the date says one November 18th and one November 20th.
Yes, sir.
You were in custody during those 2 days, obviously, as you are now.
Yes, sir.
Were you able to meet with your attorney, Mr. Aval, between the first proffer session and the second?
No, I was picked up and taken to the second proffer session. We met there.
I'm sorry. Were you able to meet with him before the start of the second proffer session in private?
Yes, sir.
And you discussed with him what was going to happen and whatever else you discussed with him about the upcoming proffer session, correct?
We had a discussion.
And he talked to you about the contents of the proffer session, first one and second one, and what he expected from you?
Objection is made. And hearsay.
As to the last part, sustained.
Did he discuss with you what was going to occur at the next proffer session?
We had a discussion, same as the first one.
Same before the first one?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Honor. If we could play the
No,
Let's mark some items.
no,
Let me
no
inquire,
playing.
Second session is still part of 632.
Yeah. Your Honor's audio is still on that subject.
Very good, so that remains. And the
And they will
transcript
be
was
in,
marked as 634.
Yes.
just FYI, for those of you who do not know, the Sementilli trial will be dark until Friday of next week. The judge has got a conference he has to go to. So there will be Monday through Thursday. There will not be trial.
Thank you so much.
I'm good at repeating that.
Again, the same admonition as always applies to this transcript.
Thank you.
Yes, please. Thanks for one person missing.
May we begin, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's 10:56 on the morning of Wednesday, November 20th. We're back at robbery and homicide division this morning for part 2 of our proper interview with Mr. Christopher Austin, along with his attorney, Simon Aval, Detective Josh Byers, Detective Corey Farwell, DA Heather Stadel, myself, Beth Silverman.
I'm going to take a little comfort break. I'll be right back.
Recorded and transcribed by DA employee Sarah Mayhem and our paralegal Irene Romero. And I want to start with yesterday we had you sign a proper agreement. I basically, it's the same proper agreement that mentions that it's going to be held on the morning of November 18th, and of course, this is November 20th, part 2, but on it, it says part 2. Did you have an opportunity to review all of this with your lawyer and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any questions of me or your lawyer that you want to discuss at this time regarding, your proper, the second half of your property day?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm gonna just jump around today and try and get some things clarified. Let's start with some photographs. I think yesterday we marked through 18. I'm gonna show you now exhibit 19. Do you recognize 3 individuals in this photograph?
You said yesterday, you mean the last 2 days ago.
Sorry, yes.
Yes.
It's been a little bit of a blur to see who's on the top. Do you recognize the 3 people there in exhibit 19?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell me who those people are?
Robert Baker, Monica, and Mr. Bergman.
Okay. You, Mr. Bergson, he's the guy you also know as?
Alfred Bergman.
Okay. And then you also told us yesterday that initially the hit on Fabio Sementilli, the victim in this case, was supposed to take place the same night that you came into town, which was January 22nd, and that Baker drove you to some location. What type of location was that again?
It was like a shopping center, like a food mart, and food nails.
And they all,
It was like a L-shaped food mart area.
like a strip mall?
Like a strip mall. Thank you.
When you say nails, you mean like a nail salon?
Nail salon, yes.
And you were supposed to wait for a particular car while you were at that location Were you waiting with David somewhere?
Yes.
Where?
On the other side, in like a back, so like a back parking lot area. He wanted me to get out. He told me what to look. He told me that, told me what he was driving, via Monica, and to look for it. And
What do you mean via Monica?
Monica told him that it's my understanding.
Now, I don't want to know what you're understanding. I want to know actual words. Let's stick with what he actually told you.
She's gonna send him to the store, and she's gonna send him to the store, and we can get him there.
And when you say she, you mean Monica?
Yes,
So David told you that Monica told him what Fabio would be driving,
Yes.
and that she was going to send him to the store so that he could be murdered.
yes,
And at that point, had you and Baker already gone to the Walmart where I believe you told us 2 days ago that you purchased 2 knives, correct?
yes,
One being that folding knife, and the other being the hunting knife that you told us you used to stab Fabio on the 23rd.
yes.
And were you waiting inside a location or a vehicle, or were you just out on the street?
I was in the vehicle, and then I got out.
And when did you get out?
When he got a text that it should be there,
How do you know he got his text?
he told me.
What did he, being David, say about the text?
He said that he should be there. Go look,
And did he tell you who he got a text from?
Monica.
So were you waiting in David's vehicle at that point?
Mhm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
What kind of vehicle?
I think it was rental we took.
This would be the 22nd.
I believe we took the rental.
You think it was the rental that night? Are you guessing, or do you have a clear recollection?
I'm trying to think.
Because I want you to guess. I want, if you're sure, then you can tell us. If you're not sure, you can say that too.
I'm thinking.
Okay, we'll come back to that while you think, in the back of your mind. Showing you exhibit 20, do you recognize this location?
I do.
What is this location?
That is where Mr. Baker was living at the time.
This is where Robert Baker was living?
Mhm.
Is this the parking garage?
Yes,
Do you recognize any vehicles in this picture?
yes.
Which vehicles do you recognize?
I recognize the black Expedition and a red Mustang.
And did both of those vehicles belong to Baker?
Yes,
Were you told, you told us yesterday to look for a dark black or blue pickup that the victim was going to be driving, is that right?
yes.
Okay. Go ahead, if you want. Just a refresh, can we? Okay, can you tell us, like, well, I know we talked about it yesterday, but can you go through just kind of like when you got to the parking lot, like, step by step of you remember, and then we can maybe ask, is that okay? Because I just kind of remember some details, like, what you remember, if you got to the parking lot, and if you could tell us what happened, like, what you remember. You went, how they were told you to go there, when you got there, what you saw, what you did, and then she can ask you the details of it. Is that okay? Just go step by step. Yeah.
It was pretty late, so
How late?
maybe 9 or so.
Okay?
There wasn't a lot of cars in the parking lot.
Okay.
And when we got to that, back area, he told me to look for it, and he showed me a picture.
Baker?
Yes,
On his phone?
yes,
Or printed out?
on his phone.
Yeah,
And then it was
printed out.
not really.
Okay. What do you mean by not really?
He told me, he described him to me, trying to get me to imagine what he looked like, but I was like, I.
Well, let me ask you, previous to this date, you had been to the Sementilli home, Baker.
Yes,
Did you see family photos all over the house when you were there?
no, remember steps, and there were like little pillars, and I would just kind of like wait and look. I remember him coming out of the food spot.
Who?
Mr.
The victim
The victim.
was coming out of the food spot? What does that mean?
Whatever restaurant,
Out of the store,
out of
the
the store,
restaurant?
whatever restaurant it was, he was coming out, and
Do you remember the name of any of the restaurants and stores in that strip mall?
I would have to see it to remember.
Do you remember any cross streets?
No,
So how would we know to bring you in somewhere if you don't know?
I was told when he went there, it was close to his house.
Okay. By who?
Baker.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I saw him, and I said, well, we can't do it. And I went back.
Where were you?
I was like walking in the breezeway of our village
And where was Baker?
in the car.
And where was he parked?
In like a back area,
Like a parking lot?
like a parking lot area.
You're very close, don't worry, sorry. And was there a reason that you changed your mind at that point?
Do it.
And so you went back into the car and said to Baker, I can't do it? Is that yes?
Yeah.
And Baker said,
Don't worry about
and did Baker say, don't worry, we'll handle this later or
it. Yeah.
tomorrow or
No, he
anything
said,
else?
he just said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then we went back to his path. And in my mind, I was like,
So when you got back in the car with Baker, do you know, did you see or hear, or did he tell you, did he communicate with Monica after that?
yeah, we started texting. And I assumed it was Monica.
Why do you assume that?
Because he didn't really move until he got a text or some type of call from her.
Move the car.
Huh?
He didn't move the car.
Just move in general, like planning things like that, just moving forward with anything. He didn't do anything until he got any information, to my knowledge.
Did he say anything or mention anything about Monica, like, I gotta let Monica know, or, let me text Monica, or
He said, I'll figure it out. He said, I'll figure it out.
did he mention anything about Monica at that time?
That night,
Yeah. When you came back to the car and said, I can't do it, and he started texting. Because you said you think he was texting to Monica, so my question is, why did you do that?
because of the reason we went there, he got the text from her.
Did he mention anything about Monica at that point after?
No,
So like you went, I guess we're getting at it, you went there believing that Monica was kind of behind this directing it, right?
yeah,
And then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So logically, Baker would be reporting back to her, but it didn't happen, and there would be a new plan. Do you know anything about that?
no,
Okay. But you didn't hear her calling, and you didn't get on the phone with her as far as you heard?
no,
Did he tell you that he talked to her at all, like he communicated about it didn't happen?
when we got back to his pad, he said, I'll let her know.
Okay. And you knew that was going
Yeah, and in my mind at that time, I was like, cool, it's not gonna happen, I'm gonna go back, I'm not gonna do this.
Did Baker do that with you?
A little, but not really.
And when you said I'll let her know, did you ever hear him like actually call her?
No,
Did he ever tell you that he ended up talking to her and did let her know? Did he tell you what happened or what she said or anything that happened after that?
no,
Okay. So he just said I'll let her know and that was it for the night?
that was it. And then I went back to his pad and went to sleep.
In terms of the vehicle showing you exhibit 21, do you recognize that vehicle?
Yeah,
And whose vehicle is that?
that's the victim's vehicle that I was supposed to look for.
And did you actually see the vehicle somewhere on that night on the January 22nd when Baker was waiting in the back lot?
Yeah, it was parked like, it was parked in the parking lot right in front of the restaurant. And we walked out, got in the car, and drove off.
Do you remember what kind of restaurant it was, if you don't remember the name?
It might have been Chinese.
Are you guessing?
I am.
Okay. Did he smell like sharing food like he's on
Yeah, he kind of like a little bag. And,
You told us, 2 days ago that the 2 knives that you purchased were at a Walmart. I just want to show you a map. I don't know if it'll mean anything to you. This is in the exhibit 22. On this map, you can see that there is a Walmart. This street right here, if you're familiar with the San Fernando Valley, is Fallbrook. And down here is Victory Boulevard. Do you know, or do you recall if this is the Walmart that you and Baker went to on January 22nd in order to purchase knives? And again, you don't need to guess. If you don't know, you don't know. I just want to know if it was in the valley.
all I know is that yes, I believe it was in the valley. Because I don't think we traveled very far from the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it was a Walmart.
And do you think it was this Walmart here that is in the vicinity of Fallbrook and Victory?
I don't want to guess and give you wrong information.
Okay. You guys buy anything in, either you or Baker, buy anything else in the Walmart other than the folding knife and the hunting knife?
I don't remember.
You said you stayed at Baker's apartment on, Independence when you came in, right?
Yes.
Showing you exhibit 23, do you recognize this location?
Yes.
What is that?
That's the apartment where he was staying.
That's family room area?
Yes.
Downstairs? Showing you exhibit 24, do you recognize this location?
Yes.
What is that?
That's bedroom.
Who's
Baker's
that?
bedroom.
Where were you sleeping when you came to stay?
I slept on one side of the bed,
And Baker slept with you?
on the other side of it.
You slept in Baker's bedroom?
Yes.
Showing you exhibit 26, thank you, sir. Do you recognize this?
That's the garage. I think that's the outside of the apartment.
Okay.
Okay, so Monday, I don't know what we're going to do. I do know on Tuesday I have a doctor's appointment in the afternoon, but we will be maybe court hopping Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. If y'all have problem is there's trials already in the middle of being in trial. And we're a week and a half away from Karen Reed if it goes on the 1st of April. So I don't want to get involved in anything else. So we will watch this on Friday. I'm hoping that we'll have a resolve on this one before Karen Reed's. Okay. Then maybe what we can do is just, I don't know, watch bits and pieces of Karen Reed's first trial. Or if somebody has a short trial that we can watch, I am open to suggestions. Even though this is my channel, even though this is my channel, definitely, want your input because this is for you. So you guys tell me what you want to do next week. We'll do it. Okay. Maybe, oh, I wonder, I have a question. Should we do a segment on all the legal terms that we're going to inquire as far as that we can surmise and do a review of what these mean? Because there's a lot of people who don't fully understand a motion in limine or pro hac or whatever. And maybe do kind of like a legal word vocab review. I don't know. We'll see, y'all. We'll figure it out. We always do. But Wednesday, unless something is breaking that is so big that I have to go live, I'll go live remotely if I have to. I hope my honey would be okay with that, though. I mean, I don't want to do anything that he's planned. I have a boyfriend, y'all. He's planned a special day for my birthday. I don't think my ex-husband even did that. It was always a movie and dinner. That was it. Okay, we're back on.
So that's Baker's apartment complex on Independence?
Yeah.
And have you stayed there on more than one occasion when you came into town, including this time when you came in to Smith murder?
No,
You only stayed there one time?
that was my first time seeing that spot, actually.
Okay. Yesterday you told us that you lived with Baker at, yeah. And again, anytime I say yesterday, I mean 2 days ago.
I know that.
I know, but I'm glad that your lawyer is so great and that he corrected me. And you feel free, please, to correct me as well. And if there's, again, anything I say that you don't understand or that I ask in a weird way, just tell me like I don't understand the question and I'll react.
Okay.
Because I know we're moving a little quickly. I thought I had something was the exterior. Okay. 26. So, I'm sorry. So Baker's apartment, that's the exterior of the apartment. I'm gonna mark that as 25. Okay.
Okay.
So we have 23 being the living room area, 24 being his bedroom, and you recognize the bedspread there, green with floral print in 24,
Yes.
and 25 being the exterior of the apartment complex.
Yes.
Showing you 26, yesterday you told us that at some point prior to moving to Alaska, that you lived with Baker on Catherine.
Yes.
In the valley.
Yes.
I want to show you this location, which is 5757 Catherine in Van Nuys. Is that the correct location?
Yes.
That is it. Okay. And who lived at Catherine with you?
Baker and his wife at the time.
His wife being?
Nikki.
Do you know Nikki's last name?
Her real last name?
Yeah.
No.
Showing you exhibit 27, do you recognize this person?
Yes. Oh,
Who's that?
that is, his, ex-wife.
Nikki?
Nikki.
Have you ever, heard the last name of Fairchild, or did you only know her by Nikki Baker?
That was the name that she went by, but in my mind, she was Nikki Baker.
When you say that name, you mean Fairchild? So you had heard that name before?
Yes, but I don't want to like say like, oh, yeah, that's her last name, and I don't really know if that's really her last name. That's just the name I've known her to be called, Nikki Fairchild or Nikki Baker.
Got it. I want to show you another picture, because you said you also lived on, I think you said Kelvin? Is that right? With Baker and Nikki?
Yes, was it Kelvin? In Winnetka.
In Winnetka,
yes.
Showing you exhibit 28. You recognize this picture of this house?
Yes.
Is that a location that you also lived with Baker?
Yes, that's the last location I lived with, Baker.
Andy?
And
And what about Al?
Al had moved to Vegas already.
Did Al ever live in this location with you?
No,
Did Al ever live at the Catherine Avenue location with you?
yes.
Sorry, y'all. My daughter is going to be leaving us tomorrow. Spring break is over on Sunday, but she's got a wedding to go to, and she's going to be leaving early in the morning tomorrow, and I'm leaving in about an hour and a half. So, kind of saying we had to have our little conversation. Thank you very much. Let's go.
That was depicted in Exhibit 26.
Yes.
On the morning of January 23rd, you said when you woke up, Baker was not home.
Yes.
Did Baker ever tell you that that morning he had gone to LA Fitness to meet up with Monica?
No.
Did Baker ever tell you that he had seen Monica that day?
I'm thinking,
You need to be careful with that statement. That can get you in a whole lot of trouble.
he didn't tell me that he met up with her, but he did come and said, here's the deal. She's gonna, here's the deal. And I'm telling you what I can recall.
Okay.
Here's the deal. She's gonna go home, you know, see what exactly he's doing, and then she's gonna leave. And when she leaves, she's gonna let me know when he's home alone. And I just said, that's not in my head. And I'm watching
You still were aware that you were, this was going, this hit was gonna happen that day?
Yeah.
Did he ever tell you that he met up with her, if not at the LA Fitness, at the local Target?
No.
You told us, I think, 2 days ago when you were here, that when you woke up,
He wasn't there.
Baker was gone, and then came home at some point later in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know approximately what time?
No.
When you're asking about LA Fitness, was it that morning you're asking? Yes, okay. They could say that day, he had seen mine at LA Fit or at a Target. Okay. So he just told you that, here's the deal, he's gonna go home, see what he's doing, and let him know what he's in love.
Yeah.
Did he ever mention to you that there was a daughter that was in and out of the house that day? Or did you not know about the daughter?
I didn't know about the daughter until we got in the car and said, shit, his daughter. He said, shit. And then he told me on the phone. Told me on the phone after everything that went down. Said his daughter came home. And then I just remember this. He said, don't trip. I got you. And then hung up the phone.
Did he just call to tell you that the daughter?
No, it's just to check it. It would be called to just check in on me. Just in general. And he told me that.
Did you ever heard of the name Jaybird? Did you ever use the name Jaybird?
No,
Okay.
not in my presence.
Okay, so you never heard that name? Oh. You never put the name Gabriel?
Not my presence, no.
Well, if you heard something, it would be in your presence, right? So
Yeah.
You're saying you never heard that name?
No.
When Baker came home that morning or that afternoon or whatever it was during the 23rd, was he bleeding from anywhere at that time?
Not that I noticed.
So he didn't have his head wrapped or his hand wrapped up or complain of any bleeding or anything of that nature?
No.
And did he ever say to you, oh, I was at racquetball and Monica hit me with her racket, either in the head or in the hand or anywhere else on his body?
He never said anything like that to me.
I'll show you another picture. Actually, 7 or 8. Showing you 29. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
And what area is that?
I don't know that area. I just recognize the picture.
What is it?
It's a picture of a black Porsche.
And is that the victim's black Porsche?
Yeah.
And would that be, at the time when you and, Baker are fleeing the scene after the murder?
Yes.
Showing you exhibit 30, you recognize this person here walking with a second kind of black sweatsuit with white stripes, carrying some kind of a duffel or a bag?
It's hard to make it out.
Do you know if Baker was wearing an outfit that looked like that at some point in time on January 23rd?
He might have.
So that doesn't look familiar to you?
I can't really make it out to say, give a definite answer yes or no, but he might have had, Adidas gear. He had a lot of workout gear.
You say gear, you mean clothing?
Yeah.
By the way, you also told us 2 days ago that, Albert They told you to get your passport ready in case you had to go somewhere. Did you in fact get a passport
I did.
after this murder?
I was already in motion for me to get a passport, but yeah.
Was it in motion because you knew that this, in relation to this plan and crime?
No, I just wanted to have my passport. My mom told me I needed to get a passport, and I had the paperwork, I just never submitted it.
So you got
Until after.
showing you 31, probably this one's a little bit closer up than 30. Is that appears to be pictures of Baker in that same outfit?
Yes.
And do you recall him wearing that outfit at all on January 23rd, prior to changing into the hoodie?
Yes.
Or not?
Yes.
So that does look familiar to you?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Do you know if Baker ever said anything about going near the crime scene location ahead of time, to block anything off,
No.
or anything of that nature?
No.
He never talked to you about that?
No.
Showing you 32, you guys ever, not the word scout, but do any drive-by or run-by of that neighborhood before this was planned?
No.
Other than that one time that you've been there?
I used to, the one time I was there.
Okay. And do you know if Baker ever said, because clearly he's wearing an outfit that matches what he's wearing that day in the neighborhood, and that's not what he was wearing with you when you went there. Okay, so you don't know if you go into that area that day, the day before, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Do you know a guy named Kenneth Wax?
No.
Showing you exhibit 32, do you recognize that person at all?
No.
Never came up in any conversations regarding this conspiracy?
No.
Showing you exhibit 33, Chris Crowder. Do you recognize this guy or his name?
No.
Never came up in the course of the conspiracy?
No.
How about the name Anaxian? Did that ever come up in the course of the conversations regarding the conspiracy?
No.
Did either Birdsong or Baker ever call you by a nickname like you used Unk or Bird? Did they ever use any kind of nickname to refer to you?
When they're picking on me, based on my appearance right now, they call me Wolverine.
Wolverine?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Joking, Chewbacca.
Chewbacca?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nephew.
Nephew?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Did you ever communicate with Al on a burner?
Yeah.
Do you remember the phone number?
No.
Do you know if it started with an 818 number or prefix?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry to give you an 818-999-31. I'm sorry. 818. Familiar or not?
Looking at a whole lot of numbers, but that that would probably be it.
What was, and let me get his regular number, which was a 702. Okay, we'll come back to that. Did you use a fake ID in order to obtain the burner phone that Baker told you and Al told you to get?
No.
I want to show you
My numbers.
some records. Are you familiar with the name Ahmed, A-H-M-E-D, A-L-S-H-A-M-I-S-I? Are you familiar with that name at all?
No.
Okay.
What?
His
No.
name is Ahmed Al-Shamisi. So you didn't use a fake name to get the burner? You just didn't have
Baker gave me a burner.
He gave you an actual phone.
He gave me an actual phone.
What kind of phone was it?
It was a burner phone. It was one of the convenience store phones you kind of get, put them in a phone, you can use it. He set it up and gave it to me.
Like a prepaid?
Yes.
Was it an Apple? Was it an Android?
No, it was just a regular old little flip phone thing.
A flip phone. He gave you that Apple?
No, before. When I got there?
On the 22nd?
Yes.
And what was that phone supposed to be used for?
Communication, if we ever got separated.
And that was because you said Al told you to leave your phone in Alaska when you got to the airport and they picked you up. Baker asked you, had you left your phone at home?
Yes.
And you told him yes.
Yes.
Okay, at some point though, there was a second burner phone, right?
Yeah, they gave me the
Absolutely.
Well, and that's phone that Baker gave you, did you use it during the time you were here in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
To who would you
Just the Baker. I didn't call him, I just told him, text Baker.
You would text Baker on that phone?
Text or call Baker only.
On which of Baker's phones?
The burner phone, he had a burner phone too.
He had one burner phone?
Yeah.
And you made calls to him on his burner phone from that burner phone that Baker gave you?
Mm-hmm. And then when I got to the last
For those of you who have been following, the ex-soldier Jordan Henning is guilty. Verdict in. Guilty. First-degree manslaughter in the death of his wife, Ashley Henning. Prosecutors say home surveillance captured him lead shooting her as she pled for her life. So I hate a soldier's gone bad, but I'm glad that the jury got the decision right. So I just thought I'd let you know. I just saw it. You may already know.
They gave me a couple of dollars to go get a cell phone. And then I went into a AT&T store and I happened to know somebody there, to be in Burn. Sure.
What did you do with that burger from Baker? Did you?
He told me to get everything.
You gave it back.
I gave everything back.
Go ahead.
Do you remember anything about, did he tell you what the phone number was, or do you have the phone number to program?
I don't remember those numbers.
Okay, so you just remember it was some kind of flip phone
Yeah.
that they gave you on the 22nd to use while you were there in LA for this murder?
Yeah.
Now, when you told Detective Byers that they gave you some money and you went in Alaska to purchase another, burner, when you say they, who gave you money to purchase the burner in Alaska?
Baker gave me money.
Before you left, or by removing it from his account via his account?
Before I left, he gave me a couple of dollars.
What do you mean by a couple dollars?
Sorry.
And then I went to an AT&T store.
Where?
In
Aren't you
Anchorage.
connected?
Where?
In Anchorage, Alaska.
Uh-huh. Is it in a mall?
Oh, yes, it's like in a mall. And, I said, hey, I need a phone, a little burner phone.
That would suck, y'all.
Yeah, yeah,
That,
that's it.
someone you didn't know?
Someone I actually knew who I was.
Oh, you knew her?
Yeah, she knew who I was via coaching and stuff, but she just gave it to me.
She gave it to you for free?
No, I paid for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
How much did you pay for that burner?
it's better than sitting in jail, but at the same time, that would suck.
So if you get a phone, you put minutes on it. AT&T at the time had a deal like that.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So the burger phone that you provided me when you got here, you said that a couple days ago, you said your phone had fallen out, or you didn't bring the phone
I
with you.
didn't bring my phone.
Okay, so did you let Chloe know that you arrived, or any family member, did you use that burger phone to communicate with anybody but Baker?
No.
So there was no check-in?
No. She told me not to. She said, don't you call anybody, don't you do anything. As far as everybody knows.
She was the only one who knew you were traveling here to Los Angeles?
Yeah.
And under what was her thought about what we were doing?
She didn't really ask a whole lot of questions. Me and her, our relationship had just kind of started. And I was pretty guarded, when it had started. So she was like, if she asked any questions, like, for what's going on, like, he told me to tell her that he was kind of under the weather. And I was gonna help him handle some of his businesses, like his modeling contracts and stuff like that. She is now familiar that, I used to work in the industry as far as like business assistants, other people's assistants and stuff like that, driving around. Nothing stuff like none of that.
Okay, sorry.
Do you have the burner when you went to the house?
Hmm?
Do you remember if you had the burner when you went to the inventory house? You didn't take it?
Told me not to.
Oh, okay. Where did you leave it?
I left it at his house. And whatever he did with it, what he did with it.
Did you keep the burner with you when you went, like, before to that, like, when we saw,
Yeah.
the parking lot, you had the burner then?
I think so, yeah.
You were with Baker the whole time, is there any particular reason why you had it?
He said just in case we get separated and,
the Baker's phone, the one that ends in, 1093, 213-272-1093, that was the phone number that you had always communicated with Baker through.
No, I forget. If you check in on me beforehand, yes.
And then at some point, when he told you to download WhatsApp, you were communicating, through burner phone, you on your end and he on his end.
Yes.
And his burner phone number was 747-888.
Yes. Yes.
And your burner phone, was a 907 number that we talked about, I think, 2 days ago. That was 907.
That's my personal.
Okay. Your burner was then the 314.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. After the burner,
Yes.
295-9.
Yes. Is that what you have?
314, Acreage, is that Eric Acreage, 314?
No. I don't know where that.
But you recall your burner being a 314 area code?
Yes.
And you would have given that to Baker via your communications through the encrypted app, WhatsApp?
Yes.
What is Vesta?
I think it's like a prepaid card account. Anytime you need to put money on a phone, on prepaid, what you use, you gotta dial it in, add minutes to it.
And did you, use any kind of Vesta card or account or Baker?
I think Baker did, and he told me to use it too. And so I just did.
What did he give you to be able to access that Vesta account?
Usually it's about, it's not a lot, it's like $40 sometimes.
Okay, but what did Baker give you? He give you a card?
Yeah.
Give you an access number?
Give me an access number, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
On the phone that you got once you went back to Alaska, you purchased, and you make that, I don't remember, where did you purchase that?
An AT&T store.
Where, like,
In the shopping mall.
shopping mall? Fairly close to where you were living,
Where I work.
where you work?
But I think I just went in there on a random day at the mall.
Have you not phoned anything from that person before?
No, I had put minutes on that 907 number, because I had,
So when you purchased that burner, you have to get an ID, or did they just kind of,
no, it was like, okay, coach.
so you were familiar with them? So that's a relationship, so
Yeah,
no ID, background check, anything like that, you just kind of going by it?
yeah.
So you were using, it looks like in 2016, all year long, you were using a Vesta prepaid AT&T card. What was that for?
Is that the 907 number?
It's a Vesta prepaid AT&T card.
Oh, I didn't really have like if I were, you said 2016?
Mm-hmm. The year before the murder.
That might have been for the burner phone he gave me.
When did you get you a burner phone?
Because, can you take a minute?
Yeah, we can talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our recess for lunch. I need to confer with council, so we're going to recess as far as you're concerned until 1:30. As always, the evidence applies not discuss this case among yourselves with anyone else or form express an opinion until the cause is submitted to you. Have a good lunch. See you at 1:30. If I can have council remain, please.
Okay, we're gonna end it for now. I have to leave in about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. That'll give me time to gather what I need to gather. Sticky Widget, we're not coming back today. I have a conference and I have to leave. I'm helping with it. So I have to leave. And I'll be gone all weekend. I'll come back on Sunday. I hope to have a Sunday night live. I don't know. We'll see. What was I going to say? I will be monitoring everything in Discord. I'll be monitoring everything on YouTube. If we have something that pops, I will be on. This girl's going to be on it. Don't worry. I will not leave y'all hanging at all. Not at all. So this case, I hope, well, no, they're not back unless they rest today, which I'll be monitoring it on the road. They rest today, which I don't think they will. Then jury, all that will start next Friday. I bet let me get my calendar up. Okay. So today is the 20th. They won't come back until the 27th, which means it will, oh no, wrong today. Okay. So they won't come back until the 28th. Karen Reed starts the 1st. So there will be overlapping, but I'm going to tell you this. Karen Reed is priority. Then what I will do is in the evening, I will run the Sementilli. We may speed it up a little bit because I have a feeling there's a possibility that they will end the first week of April. I hope. God, I hope. I pray and I hope. I hope and I pray. So, y'all, let's do the drawing real quick. And then, yay, Jesse! Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to do extras because we're going to be gone. We'll draw again. Come on, work. Hi! Woohoo! One more. Dawn, woohoo! You won. So there you go. So Dawn, y'all won. Gerald, you weren't in that one. You didn't like. I'm not happy with you. No, I'm kidding. So you guys, it's been a great week, even though I've been sick. If I'm going to be sick, I'd rather be sick here with you guys and be by myself in bed, miserable. I apologize. This week was not the best weeks ever, but what can I do? At least I was here. I will be looking forward to coming back home. If I'm well and I'm rested and I can, we'll do a Sunday night live. But I also have a huge week to get ready for next week. But we will see. We will play next week by ear. That's all I can say. If you have something that we can watch in a day or two that you want to watch, it could be a documentary that is court TV related or something that I can share. Let me know. We can watch something that's documentary that's safe to share. We can do that. Well, thank you so much, Haley Mouse. I don't give up that easy. Although not to say I didn't want to. So anyway, y'all be blessed. Have a great evening, and we will see you on the flip side. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.